So I started to think about, and some of these stories, some of you have already heard, but they are stories of this congregation or friends of this congregation. When I saw the Holy Spirit intercede upon the situation. Was it too long ago before Twitch got her yellow mobile, when she had the little old lady station wagon? She was coming from Highwood after going out to feed some animals, sheep and I think a cat, and she hit a patch of black ice and she plummeted down, I would say 75 feet. She rode the snow all the way down and stopped right by the fence. Bunged her head up good. So she calls me crying. She says, Jeannie, you got to come get me. I've run off the road. I'm going to freeze out here. Nobody will see me. And I'm trying to get her to give me the address where she's at, what road I need to go on. She's crying. She's scared. She's wet. She's cold. She can't hardly get out of the car. She wasn't too awful far. I just had to go around the loop and up there. And by the time I got there, a farmer had gone down, saw the wet tracks, gone down to the car, carried her up the hill, and had her in a pickup, warming up. You know what I'm telling you? She kept saying, I said, you're not from California anymore, Twitch, you're from Montana. We learned to watch tracks in the snow like that. He knew. And he got her up there. She couldn't walk. And we stayed in my Jeep for quite a long time before they pulled that car. When they got a hold of that car and lifted it, it was actually this way. And pulled it out of that gully. There for the grace of God. There's another time. Well, Jerry's done more than one team singing and pastoring with his music. He's done more tours than this. This particular tour, I was with him. We were going to Billings to do a weekend for Pastor Barbara. And so, Sharon was the best packer. She always packed everything in. I had a Chevy Blazer. Duh. Did I read about four-wheel drive? No, it scared me. It wasn't a button. I had to pull something. So Sharon's in front driving this little pickup, and it's just zooming. And I'm in back with that wider wheelbase, just really having a hard time, and I caught the slush. And we went this way, and then we went this way, and then Jerry said, don't turn it. And then we went off of the road, and then we skid in the snow on two wheels and finally came to a stop. Charmy goes, oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. Jerry goes, anybody got to change your pants? Ooh, that was scary. But we got there. We were on a mission, We got there. Some of you all may remember my friend Ken. We just rekindled our relationship at conference this year in Mexico, and for me that was one of the biggest blessings. It was an unreconciled relationship, and it was causing me grief. And, it's the faith walk that I see him get stuck in. He can be as bold and as manly man as you think anybody could be. And then he has these moments where he just melts into this love and for Christ that will just, it convicts you. If you watch it, it would convict you. He had a nerve that would, he never knew what was going to set it off. Sometimes he likes to do animals, mimic animals. And so, the dumb brother went to swim with the dolphins and did a dolphin, and they came after him. He thought, maybe I better not do that. But he has the ability to exactly hear the animal and do that. So sometimes he'd whinny like a horse, and it'd be the trigeminal neuralgia. Aren't you proud of me?
Yeah.
I got it. I've been practiced. Trigeminal neuralgia would pinch in his face, and it would be so excruciating that he couldn't move his head, he couldn't talk, he couldn't swallow. It just totally paralyzed him. And I remember when he was having that happen, that they used to give him suckers that were morphine that he could suck on to try to relieve that. And for years, he lived with that. One time I went to his cabin, and he always gives me the bedroom and goes up into the loft. And when he was there, and so I was in the bedroom, and I saw this small picture that was a watercolor painted by a nun. And it showed the robe and feet, and it showed a hand reaching for that. The woman with the hemorrhage reaching for that. He said when he got so pain-ridden, he'd look at that picture, and all he could do was reach out his hands and try to touch the garment of Christ and ask for release. I stood there when he said that, in that holy moment of awe, and just could not believe, he was reaching out for intercession. He wanted it to stop. And he was hurting very bad. He lived with this for quite a few years, and now science has caught up, medicine has caught up. They did a surgery on his brain to stop that from happening. They had to drill into his head. It was a lengthy surgery. By this time, he had a new partner, and they'd been together for probably about a year. And they went in. Now, the risk of getting in the brain is that you could cause other things to happen. So he went into that surgery knowing that he could come out with one side of his face that would be like a stroke, or that he could lose other deficits, may lose his speech and have to go. They were going to go in there, and by gosh, it took longer than they thought. Now, his partner, in the meantime, was sitting there waiting. And the partner had a trigger that happened for the partner. He had a lover who passed away with AIDS. And he was there every day and held him while he died. And when he was waiting for Ken, he triggered to that memory. It wasn't resolved with God. And he triggered to that memory, and he said, I have to leave this relationship because I cannot watch another lover die. So Ken comes out of the surgery, and it worked. All of his faculties have worked. He was free of all that. Now, can you imagine rising up to that just to get the news that your boyfriend's leaving? Didn't want to stay. Didn't want to persevere that. We all have that ability to trigger. How many know when something triggers you from the past? Something familiar happens today and triggers us to a back situation. If we haven't shaked hands with that horror, we'll relive it out. We'll start setting up all the other people in the drama and start getting kind of paranoid and worried and want to isolate off, want to go hide. You all know that one. You want to go hide and just close in. Some people turn to a lot of alcohol. Some people turn to drugs. Some people allow their lives to still be violent because violence is what they knew. If we have childhoods that are violent and we haven't dealt with it, we will encourage violence to come back to us. Wow. There's no magic on how to fix this for any of us, except that we have to go to the stairwell, and we have to know that God's on that stairwell, and we're going to reach out to that God no matter how it is or where we're at or what mood we're in. And then we're going to start to find a mustard seed of faith. And we're going to start to say that God works, all things work for the good